Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a very important part of international marketing, which is known as selection and management of intermediaries. What are these selection and management of intermediaries? We are going to discuss this thing in detail, and this is basically related with the external influence of any organization. As you know, that it is very important for any organization to identify a particular person who can help you out in giving all the information about the foreign market, because you are not aware about the foreign market regarding their culture, their religion pattern, their marketing trend, their customers needs, and the trends which moves from one place to another place in the particular market. So these are the people who are really helpful in getting all this information for you, so that you can analyze the information, you can do the research work, and on the basis of the research work you are going to be in a position to make the strategic planning for your marketing of a particular product in that particular market. Because first of all, if you are going for any marketing, you have to identify the which type of product you are going to sell in the market. So these are the people who can help you out. They can distribute your products in different markets, in different areas, in local areas of that particular market. Because it is very clear that if you are going for any particular uh, marketing of a product, in each and every country there are different type of areas, and you have to understand the technical know-how of those areas, as well as the demographic condition of that area and the environmental factor of that area. Because it is very important, if you are able to understand this thing, then only you are in a position to identify that yes, these are the areas and we can move forward for the betterment of the uh, selling of a particular product. So it is said that in this particular topic, we are going to identify the who are the intermediaries and how we are going to manage these intermediaries, as well as how we are going to select those people. So first of all, I'm going to talk to you about the term intermediaries. Who are these people? So marketing intermediaries are also known as distribution intermediaries. They are hired by the product manufacturer to promote, sell, and distribute the product to the final consumer. As I have told you, that marketing intermediaries are the people who are known as distributor intermediaries also, or you can say that they are distributors in a particular country, and they are hired by the manufacturing units. That means the manufacturers in a particular country, they hire this type of intermediaries, and their basic role is to promote your product, sell your product, and distribute the product to the final consumer. As I have just discussing this thing with you, that the main role of these intermediaries are to identify the area, to promote your product, sell your product, and to distribute your product in different areas, so that it will reach the consumer effectively. The intermediaries are individuals or businesses, that means business houses, that make it possible for the product to transfer it from the manufacturers to the end user process. That means if you talk about the sales process of any product, the distributor is the key factor in any selling procedures. So you have to understand this thing. These people are either the individuals, or they are the group of, you know, individuals and working in a particular company in foreign country. So it is their role to find out that how the product can be transferred from your manufacturing unit to the other country, and ultimately to the consumer. So basically they are facilitating the sales of your product in particular market. So if we talk about the intermediaries, please understand that intermediaries are the people who are known as distribution intermediaries also, and they are hired by the manufacturing units to promote their products, sell their products, and to distribute their products, which can reach the final consumers ultimately. and they are facilitating the sales process also. There are four type of marketing intermediaries which are prevailing in the market. Number one is agent, number two is wholesaler, number three is distributors, and number four are retailers. So if we talk about this thing, if you think about it, that how the products are moving from manufacturing unit to the uh, distribution area in foreign country, so these are the four people who are responsible for this thing. Some companies are hiring agents, some companies are directly hiring the wholesalers who are already existing in that particular country. Some companies are hiring distributors who are existing in that particular country, and some companies are directly hiring the retailers. So they are selling the product to the retailer so that they can sell the product. Then, what are the basic selection process for the intermediaries? It is crucial that you have to find the right intermediary for your job. Whether you are hiring an intermediary, you need to make sure they know the local market. As I have discussed just now, that it is very, very important for you to understand that whatever the intermediaries you are going to select, they are in international marketing, and they will maintain your reputation and can get a good price for your product. Yes, this is also one of the important part, that these intermediaries are the people who are helping you out to sell your product in foreign market. So it is very important to understand this thing. Whenever we are selecting the intermediaries, we have to identify this thing, whether these intermediaries are able to understand the market, or they are very well versed with the local market. And in the same way, they have to maintain your reputation also, because it is very, very important that your reputation is also going to be maintained at any cost in foreign market, and they can get a good price for your product. So this is the role of intermediaries, who are in a position to identify the consumers, and then they are going to fetch a good market price for your products which you are planning to sell into the market. Then there are following measurements which can be adopted to select the intermediaries. First, the knowledge of the product and market to intermediaries. That means initially we can test our market knowledge by asking them some questions about local business conditions. Maybe ask them who your competitors are, or maybe we are going to ask them whether the market has potential for growth. So these are the three major important questions which usually we are going to ask when we are selecting the intermediaries, that whether they should have the knowledge of the product, whatever the product you are going to sell, whether they have the knowledge of that particular product or not. Then we have to find out that what knowledge they are having about the market is concerned, because in the foreign market, as I have mentioned just now, that it is very, very important to understand the so while selecting the intermediaries, we have to identify that whether they know the local market and what are the condition of the local market. This is the first question. Then we have to ask them about the competitors, whether they know their competitors, because whatever the product we are going to sell, either it is a unique product which is not available in that market, or we are selling some product in advanced version of the product who have lot of competitors. So we have to find out from these intermediaries, are they in a position to find out the competitors number, so that it will be easier for you to make the analysis and research on those competitors, and find out that what product they are going to sell in the market, or what products they are selling in the market. So maybe you can either, you know, make some improvement in your product, or maybe you can reduce the prices, or maybe you can increase the prices, or maybe you can, you know, make different arrangement regarding your advertising is concerned and your planning process are concerned. And then we have to find out from the intermediaries only, that what are the potential. profitability of that particular market, and what are the expectation of the growth of particular product in the market, because these are the people who are in a position to give you an idea that these particular markets are potential. You can enter into these market, and maybe after a years time you will find out that the growth is very good. I'll give you example of some African markets. There are people who start selling the goods, purchasing from different countries. That means they are exporting the goods from they are importing the goods from different countries. And what they have identified, that there are a gap in the market. So these intermediaries, what they have done, they have directly contacted the manufacturing units in a domestic market, and they ask them to give the goods so that they can sell the goods in particular market, because they are very sure about the market potentiality and the growth of the market in coming years. So this is one point which we have to take into consideration when we are selecting the intermediaries. Then financial standing of intermediary. This is another second important point. It is also crucial that you find out whether the intermediary has the resources to service your product effectively. Because whenever you are identifying the intermediary, you have to see whether they are having enough finances to serve the product effectively. Because whenever you are a distributor of a particular product, you have to invest a lot of money in keeping the product in a particular place. Then you have to keep your salesperson also, who can go and sell the product in different market. So it is important to find out what are the financial standing of these particular people, and you have to do some research on the company, find out how many staff they have at their disposal, and whether their staff can offer technical and after sale skill. Yes, this is also important. When we are finding out or selecting the intermediary, we have to find out that whether these how many people they are hiring for the sales for the services, and how many people are there who can work for them, and whether the staff can offer a technical after sales service skill. Because there are some products which may be some technical products. So in this situation you have to identify whether the sales force of that intermediary are capable enough to tackle the after sales service if it is related with any technical product which you are planning to sell into a foreign market. Then we have to find out that whether they possess full trading rights for your target market, and if possible get some details of their financial background. So we have to find out one more thing, that whether they have the trading rights for a product which you are intending to sell into international market or your target market. Because this is also very important in foreign country, that if you are identifying the intermediary or the distribution intermediary, you have to see this thing, that whether they have the rights to sell the product in that particular target market. And then we have to identify about the financial status of that particular intermediary, whether it is individual or whether it is a company. Because it is very important, whenever you are selecting the intermediary, you should be very sure about this thing, that what are the resources they are available. That means the staff, whether they are well knowledgeable and skilled person in case if you are selling any technical product, or are they in a position or capable enough to give after sales service to the people. Because it is very important, whatever market you are targeting and whatever product you are going to sell in the market, it is important to see that if you are giving a good after sales service to the consumers, definitely consumers are going to buy your product, which is the most important part of this intermediary selection. And we have to find out the financial status of the intermediary also. It should not happen that they start very well, but in between they said that because of the financial condition we are not able to proceed further. Then it will be a very big drawback to your export business. So it is very important that you should identify that particular intermediary, and according to that you have to work on that. Then the next point which we have to identify for selection of intermediaries are the skill and experience of intermediary. We can ask the intermediary how they plan to sell your product. Yes, this is very very important, because when we are making a plan to sell the product in foreign market, we are making the planning, we are making the strategies, we are making strategic planning how we are going to sell the product in the market. The same thing we are going to ask with the intermediaries to whom we are going to sell the product. So these intermediaries are the people who can tell you that how they are planning to sell the product in a particular market, because it is very very important to understand this thing that if you are not able to plan to sell the product in the market, you are not going to sell the product, because in the countries, foreign countries, as I have told you, that there are different states, and each and every state is having their own way of handling the situations regarding the products are concerned, and the culture of that particular state is different. So it is the role of the intermediaries to give you a plan that okay, in this particular state we are going to sell the product in this manner. So it is important to identify this thing that how they are going to sell the product. So we have to ask for the plan how they are going to sell the product. Or maybe in that case we can just add something regarding the plans are concerned, and we can always tell intermediary that okay, you can add these particular things into your planning, and maybe it is going to be a good plan for selling the product in the market. And we have to ask them how they are going to promote similar products in the past. That means whatever products you are going to sell in the market. Let's take example of talcum powder. Suppose we are manufacturing talcum powder, and we want to sell this talcum powder in some African continent. So we have to identify the intermediary, and we have to ask this intermediary that how they are going to sell the product first. Second, we want to know that whether they have sold the same type of product in the past, because if they have already sold the product with the same category in the past, they are in a position to sell your product also very effectively. And if possible, we have to take the look at the existing customers. If they are selling to firms with bad reputations, you may want to steer clear of the people. That means we have to see this thing also, that what are the variety of existing customers are with the intermediaries, because on the basis of that only we can identify that which type of customers he or she is dealing, that means the individual or the company is dealing. And if they are selling the product with the bad name or bad reputation in the market, we can always check them out from the list of intermediaries to whom we are going to select, because it is very very important that your reputation in that particular foreign market is at stake. And it depends upon the intermediary how they are going to sell your product in the market. I will give you one example. In South Africa there are some very very big wholesalers, and they are selling the products which are manufactured in either Germany or maybe in USA or maybe in Russia. What these people are doing, they are creating an image into the mind of the consumer that okay, this is the best product which they are dealing with. So it clearly indicates that whatever they are selling in the market, it is going to be a good product, and it is creating an image into the mind of the consumer that okay, whatever products we are going to purchase, it is one of the best product. Or in case if we find out that okay, the reputation of the company in selling the product is not very good, that means if they are selling to the companies with bad reputation, we have to see that how we are going to leave that particular intermediary. This is very very important. As I have talked to you that there are uh, financial standing of intermediary, which we have to find out. Then we have to find out the skill and experience of the intermediary, and in this we have to identify that which type of products they are selling in past. Then a reputation of the intermediary in the market and the customers. We have to take a good look how they promote themselves. If they can't sell their own product, there is a good chance they won't be able to sell your products. We have to identify this thing also before we are finalizing the intermediary, how they are selling their own products. Because whoever the intermediaries are, it is not necessary they are going to sell only your product. Maybe they are going to sell, they are selling some other products also in the past. So we have to see that what are the selling procedure of those particular products which they have, and we have to identify this thing, that how they are selling that particular product. If they are selling the product in very effective manner and efficient manner, definitely we are going to select that intermediary. So it is important to see the reputation of the intermediary also if they are selling a good product. Because if they are not able to sell the good product, it is absolutely sure that they are not going to sell your product also effectively. Then we have to examine their websites, they their marketing literatures, their business cards, and the way they structure their correspondence with you. If they look sloppy or unprofessional, don't use them. Yes, it is said that we have to check the website of that particular intermediary, right? And apart from checking the website, we have to see that what marketing literature they have produced and what are their business cards say. Because the business card of any organization can speak about yourself. This is very very important in international marketing. If your business card is not very good, definitely it will go against your organization and it will harm your organization regarding the products are concerned which you are planning to sell into the market. So before going this thing, you have to check the website of that particular intermediary. You have to see that what marketing literatures they are making, and you have to see that what their business cards are and how they are structuring the correspondence with you. Because it is also essential that you have to find out that whatever the correspondence they are doing with you, how it is structured, whether it is making any sense to you or whether it is absurd. So if it is making some sense, then definitely you can go ahead with the thing. But in case if they are not making any sense, in that situation you have to think that they are unprofessional and you have to stop there, and you don't have to use that. Then interview. And it is important, when we are exporting any product in foreign market, you should be very very open, and you are in a position to ask lot of question to intermediaries to satisfy your queries, which will help you out in developing your marketing strategies also and selling of the goods in that particular country. So before you are making a final selection, it is advisable you have to know all the facts and figures, and it is at your disposal. And it is unlikely that an intermediary will be offended if a potential client asks about their business. Maybe sometime it happens when you are asking a questions about the facts and figures of intermediaries and how they are operating and how they are planning for selling the products in the market, what are their financial backgrounds, resources, etc. Maybe sometime it happens when you are selecting the intermediary, they feel offended. Why? Because they are asking a lot of questions which are related with their confidentiality. So it is you who have to see that how you are framing the questions and getting the answers from them, because it is very very important. As everybody knows this thing, whenever we are going for any export or import businesses, it involves a lot of financial capital. So when the finances are involved into it, you have to be very, very careful. So you have the whole right to talk to these people and find out that what exactly they are doing it, how they are going to do it, what their financial status, and you have to know about each and every fact and figures at your disposal, so that there will be no chaos when it comes to the selling of the goods. Now, how do market intermediaries affect the business? This is another question which comes. Till now, we have talked about the selection of intermediaries, how we are going to select the intermediaries with the help of the financial resources, with the help of the market potentiality, with the help of the interviews, etc. Now we are going to talk about that how these market intermediaries affect the business. To get a finished products to the end consumer, a corporation generally goes through several channels of distribution. That means they are saying to sell the finished product to the end consumer, the companies or the corporations generally goes through several distribution channels. All right. One of the core facilitators of distribution is the market intermediary, who work as the connection between the product and the customer. As they are saying that it is to be understood by each and every person that when we are going for any finished product to be delivered to the consumer effectively, a corporation generally have different type of distribution channels. It is not like that the organization is having only one distribution channel. They must be having different type of distribution channel where they are selling the product to the foreign market, and in return that products are going to received by the consumers in that particular market. So one of the distribution channel in this is the market intermediaries, who work as the connection or the you can link point between the product and the customer. That means these intermediaries are the people who are a connecting channel between the product and the consumer. Because they are such an influential part of the distribution chain, these intermediaries affect the business in a number of ways. They are saying that these market intermediaries are a very, very effective and important part of the distribution channel. And as you know that whenever the important part of the distribution channel is there, and they can act or affect the business in a number of ways. So what are those number of ways how they can affect revenue and sales? Hiring market intermediaries for distribution activities is often times far less expensive than if the companies were to perform their activities on their own. Yes, it is said that it is always advisable to have market intermediaries in foreign markets, because if you are using your own resources to perform all the activities which are relating with the sales and revenue generation, it is going to cost a lot to the company. So nowadays, in most of the exporters or the export companies, what they are doing, they are hiring the market intermediaries who are helping the organization to channelizing the thing in such a manner that their products are reaching the customer in very effective manner, whether it is a edible item, whether it is a FMCG product, whether it is a technical product, whether it is a software, whether it is some projects. Everybody requires some market intermediaries, and on the basis of that they are taking the uh, you know information regarding the products to be sold in particular areas, and they are very effective in that. So it is always advisable that you have to hire some market intermediaries instead of performing yourself, which will be more costly. It is resulting in higher profit on the end product and less cost spent on advertising or promotion. These market intermediaries, as I have mentioned just now, that they are the people who are going to market your products and sell your product and advertise your product. So whatever the cost you are going to incur, when in case if you think that you are going to do this thing in foreign market, it will create a lot of expenses, and you have to invest a lot of money in that. But if you are hiring some intermediaries, the profits are going to be very high for the end products, and you are going to spend less amount of money on advertising and the promotions of particular product. So you are giving a lesser amount to the intermediary instead of the profit margin which you are going to gain. Then packaging and promotions. Intermediaries generally have a keen awareness of the consumer market and insight into establishing the customer relationships. They are saying that it is seen that generally the intermediaries, that is marketing intermediaries, are having a awareness about the consumer market in that particular country. Let's take example of any country. Let's take example of USA. So in USA, if there is a market intermediary, he or she must be having a good knowledge about the market. That means the consumer market, that what are the trends which may be going to change, or what are the financial aspects, what are the uh, trends which they are feeling regarding the market is concerned. So they are having a very good knowledge about the market, and they have an insight about the customer relationship. That means if the intermediary is from foreign country, that means from the USA for example, definitely that person is having much more better customer relationship in comparison to anybody else. Then marketing intermediaries work to promote the product through marketing channels, which build customer relationship and ultimately increase brand loyalty and awareness. They are saying that whenever we are selecting any marketing intermediaries, what they are doing, they are working through different marketing channels in that particular market, because they knew the market very well. So they use those marketing channels, and they are bringing a brand loyalty, a customer relationship, and they can increase the brand awareness of your product in that particular market. So it is said that whenever we are selecting the market intermediaries, they can affect your sales in many ways. They can promote your product in such a manner through the different marketing channels, and they can build the customer relationship also. They can make your product loyal towards the customers and make the awareness of that particular product. The proper development of a marketing plan, promotion, and packaging ensures repeat customers and can affect the success or failure of a product. So they are saying if there is a proper development of a marketing plan, which is going to be made by the marketing intermediaries, either individually or in the organization, promotions, how they are going to promote the product, and what are the packages they expect. This repeat the customers and can affect the success or failure of the product. I'll give you one example. In most of the foreign countries, there are big distributors. They are also working as a marketing intermediaries. What they are doing, they are purchasing the goods in bulk quantities. So on the one hand, they are getting the economic of scales. That means they are getting the maximum discount while purchasing the good in bulk. And at their end, what they are doing, as per the requirement of the market or the consumers, they repack the goods in such a manner which can be easily accepted by the consumers. I'll give you example of some soaps which are sold in foreign countries. They are sold in foreign countries in the pack of either 5 or either 3, and individual also. So that means they are capturing the whole customer areas. That means if the customer is asking for one product, they can get the one soap. If customer is asking for 3 pack, which is economical, they can go for that. And if they are asking for 5 packs, they are more economical. So they are attracting the customer in such a manner. They are advertising the product and they are promoting the product in such a manner which customer will feel that okay, if they are buying this product in bulk, definitely they are going to get some discounts. In most of these countries, what happened during the end of the month when it is a salary time, there are a lot of sales which comes on each and every product. At that time, you if you see, people go for those products in large quantities so that the organization is going to earn more and more money. So it is totally dependent on the intermediary, how they are going to promote, how they are going to promote, to make the package, to ensure that customer will come again and again, and they can ensure that the success of a particular product in the market and the brand loyalty also. Then advertising to intermediaries. Advertising directly to intermediaries can help business owners form profitable connection and partnership. That means they are saying that if the business owner or the manufacturers, they are directly advertising to the intermediaries, it will help the business owners form a profitable connections and partnership. That means if you are helping the intermediaries while giving the all advertising materials or advertising campaign or advertising plans, it will help the uh, intermediary and the manufacturer owners to make a very good profitable connection with the partnership. The advertising can be done in the following ways. Number one is trade publication. This is one thing which usually takes place when it is a advertising for the intermediaries. Then trade magazines are print publications that target number of particular industry. That means there are a lot of trade magazines which are available in the market, and these manufacturers, what they are doing, they are printing their publications in that trade magazines. Because when they are printing all this thing in the trade magazines, it is going to be a big boost to their company. That advertising in trade magazines allow businesses to deliver sales messages to any many intermediaries at once. That means that if the manufacturers are advertising in the sales magazines, why they are advertising in the magazine? Because those sales magazines are going to different type of intermediaries, and maybe some intermediary are really interested in your product and your company, and they will immediately contact you. It is a very cost effective option, because if you are finding some intermediaries in foreign country, maybe you will find it difficult to identify the people. But if you are publicizing the product and the organization in some trade magazines with the help of the publication, you will find out maybe there are a lot of international trade intermediaries who can contact you directly, and then you can just proceed regarding your selection process is concerned. And it is a cost effective measure also, especially compared to the advertising in general interest magazine that target everyday consumer. Yes, they are saying that it is not necessary to advertise in the consumer magazines on the day to day basis, because those consumers are not your intermediaries. So, for finding the intermediaries, it is important to put up your advertisement in the trade publications, which are published throughout the world, and there are people who are in a position to understand, and maybe they can contact, and on the basis of that contact you can proceed further for the selection of the intermediaries. Then trade shows allow business owners to advertise themselves on an individual level. Of course, there are a lot of trade shows which usually takes place throughout the world. In this, what happened, these business owners and the manufacturers, they put up their stalls, and they are doing this thing on the individual levels. Representatives might demonstrate products and distribute pamphlets. It is usually seen in the trade show. Whoever is taking the stall, they are demonstrating their products also, and they are selling uh, their products with the help of the pamphlets and other things. They will set up the booths, as I have told you, television displays and informational posters. Business owners and their representatives can mingle with others in their industry and make valuable connections with potential intermediaries. Yes, this is one of the important part of the trade shows. Whenever you are taking part in the trade shows, it is usually said that in international marketing, if you want to grow your business, you have to increase your networking as well as you have to take part in the trade shows. So how trade show will help you out, because whenever you are putting up your booth or stall there in the trade show and demonstrating your products as well as with the help of the pamphlets and advertising media like television, etc., you are going to mingle with lot of other manufacturers also who are selling the same type of products, or maybe who are your competitors also. But in that situation you can make a valuable connection with the potential intermediaries. When you make a valuable connection with the potential intermediaries, you will find out that okay, there are some people who can help you out in selling your products outside the country. Then what is direct advertising? This is another part of this. Business owners also use traditional marketing techniques such as direct advertising, which requires generating or buying a list of potential valuable contacts. That means whenever you are going for any direct marketing, you need a list of people to whom you can directly contact, and you can uh, talk to them. In that case, for getting the list, maybe you have to buy those lists from the reliable sources. A direct mail campaign would involve mailing product information and literature to individual contacts. It is usually seen in some developed countries that whenever you are going to sell your product in a particular market, what they are doing it with the help of the newspaper deliveries. They are sending a small sample pack of that particular product with a self addressed envelope in that, which is a feedback form sort of thing. And they request each and every customer, because in foreign countries people are using and reading newspapers also. So what happened, in the morning they deliver those newspapers with that particular samples of that products. So they request the consumer to use that product and give their feedback on that and just mail it. So what these people are doing, they are just using it. They are mailing the product self-addressed envelope so that it will reach you. And in that, then your analysis team will sit together and analyze whether the product is good to launch into the market or whether we have to stop that particular product. So for that, you have to buy or purchase the potential customers list. While a telephone campaign would involve calling each contact to determine if there is any interest. In some cases, this also happens that you have to use the telephone contacts. But for telephone contacts, you are not able to understand whether the people are really interested or not. Maybe out of, mm, generosity, they will give you the answer for each and everything. But they will not show interest, or again and again you have to talk to those people on phone and find out whether they are really interested in that particular product or not. Then evaluation process of intermediary. As I have told you about the selection of the intermediaries, then we have talked about the different intermediary situations, then how it, intermediaries are affecting the business. Now we are going to talk about the evaluation of intermediaries. The company should make certain standards so as to measure the performance of the intermediaries on a regular basis. These standards are as number one, they are saying that when you're evaluating the performance of the intermediaries, you have to do this thing on regular basis, and you have to fix up some certain standards for the intermediaries also, that on these standards they have to work. These margins are average, stock targets, what they have achieved, timeline for delivery post, purchasing daily, credibility in market, credibility in different foreign markets, and customer feedbacks. So these are some criteria which you have to formulate and hand over to intermediary. Then what are the average purchase pattern of that particular intermediary, and what are the stock targets? Are they fulfilling the target which is giving regarding the stocks are concerned, and then what they are achieving it. Then next point is the timeline for the delivery post, that whatever the timelines are fixed, are they selling the same product on the same uh, timeline? I will give you a very good example in South Africa. It is not Africa, it is different from Africa. In South Africa, if they said that okay, we are going to give you money on this particular date at this time, it is 100% sure that you will get your money there whether the owner is there or not. This is one of the most important part of this country, that they keep the value of their commitment, that whatever they have committed they will do it. Same in other countries also, that if they said that okay, I'm going to pay you after 7 days, that means 7 days you go there and you will get your money, whatever product you have sold. So it is very very important, which we have to make the standard for each and every marketing introduction when we are evaluating the process. Then purchase dealing, how they are purchasing and what are the dealing with those people. That means from manufacturers how they are purchasing and what are the criteria for that. Then what is the credibility in the market. We have to see this also, that whenever they are selling the product, they are purchasing the product and they are delivering the product to the consumers, what are the credibility is there in the market, whether customer follow the credible link of that particular intermediary, that okay, this is the intermediary and they are delivering the goods on time and the products of quality. Then customer feedback, the last point is that we have to find out the feedback from the customer, that how this market intermediaries are working, whether they are distributing the products on the same time, whether they are giving you the product in the same quantity, after sale service is good or bad, prices are okay. So these are the things which we have to take from the customer after customers use the particular product. So these are the evaluation process and we have to make the standard. That means the our manufacturers units are going to make the standard for that. Then on the basis of these evaluations, the intermediaries should be awarded and appreciated. Of course, when we are making the standard, on the basis of the standard, whatever the commissions they are getting, apart from that, they are going to get the rewards and appreciated from the companies. On the other hand, intermediaries with average, low, or poor performance should be stimulated, retained, or terminated respectively. In the international market, it is usually seen that if the intermediaries are working as per your norms, it is usually seen that either you are going to stimulate those intermediaries in the form of some concessions or discounts, or in case if the performance of that intermediaries are not good, in that situation you have to motivate those people, retain those people, or if the performance is really very bad, you can terminate that people also. Then on the basis of this selection and management of intermediaries, I'm quite sure that you are in a position to understand how important these intermediaries are when it comes to export or import businesses, or on the other hand, you can say in the international marketing or international trade. So these are the points which I have given talk to you, and I'm quite sure that you are very clear about that how we are going to select the intermediaries, what are the things which has to be taken care of, then how important these intermediaries are, and what are the basic evaluation process for these intermediaries. So on the basis of that, I have just given some questions here. I can read out few questions, which is there are number of key influences on the selection of distribution strategy. Which of the following is generally recognized as a key influence? Buyer behavior, producer's need, product type, all of the above. Then second question says there are a variety of forms of potential supply chain collaborations which can be divided into three main categories: vertical, horizontal, lateral, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, unilateral, multilateral, trilateral, vertical, horizontal, and multilateral. Then, which of the following descriptions best describe the role of a supply chain? Logistic of an organization distribution strategy, physical distribution and payment collection, role varies based on the nature of the environment, or the role varies based on the nature of the environment but can include sourcing, production, marketing, sales, after sales service, and the acceptance of the risk and responsibility for the product. Then there are a few more questions which says that which is intangible among the following: product, services, and sales. Then dash emerges when people decide to satisfy and want through exchange, marketing, sales, purchase, or accounting. Then dash product hold that consumers will favor those products that are conveniently available in adequate quantity and affordable prices. Product production, selling, and buying. And the last question says fill in the back. Concepts hold that customers, if left alone, will ordinarily not buy enough of the organizational products. That is marketing, product, selling, or buy. So these are few questions, and I'm quite sure that whatever we have discussed here, on the basis of this discussion, we are in a position to give the answers for each and every question. So it is very clear whenever you are able to discuss this thing regarding the marketing intermediaries are concerned. I am quite sure that you are having a broader aspects of these things and you can easily talk to these people effectively. So this is all from my side, and thank you very much for the day.